Let's be real. If you told me a year ago I'd be standing at the edge of this old mansion, staring into a living room that looked like a Jackson Pollock painting on a bender, with 5 kids glaring at me like I was their next target, I'd have called you insane. But that's exactly where I found myself, frozen in the doorway, taking in the chaos. The walls streaked with wild paint, pillows exploded like snowdrifts in July, expensive furniture tossed around, and right in the middle, 5 battle-hardened little faces daring me to even breathe the wrong way. Jude, the oldest, fired the first shot. Literally, a model airplane at my feet and a growled warning. Don't think we'll like you, Jude. We want our mom, not another housekeeper. You know that look kids get when they're daring you to flinch? Multiply that by 5 and you've got the killy kids. The thing is, I didn't see a pack of brats trying to run me off. I saw 5 kids with grief chewing at their insides, scared to let anyone get close because that's how you get hurt. I know the feeling. I stepped into that room and told them quietly, I'm not here to replace your mom. I just know what it's like when everything falls apart. Silence. Not the angry kind, just waiting. You could feel it. I sat down, eye level, not flinching, and told them the truth. You're testing me to see if I'll disappear too. But I'm not planning to run. That earned a few cracks in their armor. Tessa biting her lip, Lily clutching her broken doll, the others not quite meeting my gaze. Then, of course, the heavy footsteps down the hall. Dad was home, and you could see panic flicker across all their faces. They braced for the usual storm, but what happened next nobody expected. See, Charles Keeley used to be the guy everyone envied. A tech billionaire with the perfect family, a happy house, the works. But 8 months ago, his wife Valerie died, and he'd been fumbling through life ever since. The kids fell apart. Staff quit in droves. Every day was a new disaster. You know what I mean? Charles was lost. He could buy anything, but he couldn't buy peace, or love, or a minute of quiet from the kids he hardly recognized anymore. That's how I ended up there. No fancy resume, just a cover letter that said, I know what it's like to be a kid who tests people until they leave. But I won't. And honestly, I wasn't there to save anyone. I was there because I'd survived worse and figured maybe, just maybe, I could help them survive too. My first afternoon on the job? Pure chaos. Flour explosions, milk flooding the kitchen, 6-year-old Zion wearing a flower box on his head like a tiny, silent king. Did I panic? Nope. I grabbed my bag of ginger cookies, Grandma's recipe, healing properties not guaranteed, and handed them out like peace offerings. Congratulations, kids, I said. You just broke the world record for kitchen chaos. That got me a couple raised eyebrows and, for the first time, a hint of something softer. Even Zion, who hadn't spoken in months, took a cookie. Not a word, but the look he gave me said, maybe this one's different. Yeah, the kids tried to run me off. Jude swearing he hated housekeepers. Tessa telling me I'd bail, just like the rest. Lily showing off her finest spider prank. I just smiled. I don't know if I like you guys yet either. But lucky for all of us, I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to stay. That was the first time the air shifted, just a little. I cleaned up their mess, didn't flinch when they tested me, and I told them straight. I grew up in 37 different homes before I learned to stand on my own. You can't scare me off with a little spilled milk. Over the next 24 hours, I became less of an intruder and more of a curiosity. The house started to change. Breakfast wasn't a battle. Zion whispered his first word in months. Do you know how to tell stories? And when I promised not to let anyone throw pillows at me while I told one, the kids actually laughed. Charles watched it all from a distance, still scared to believe it could last. But hope? It started to flicker. Of course, it wasn't some miracle fix. Noah held a funeral for a cartoon cat in the garden. Tessa painted the walls with shampoo. Jude refused dinner because the pasta wasn't like Mom's. Lily nearly electrocuted herself. And Zion hid in the closet, crying to a song his mother used to sing. But I handled each mess, some with stories, some with chores, sometimes just by sitting in silence. By night, the kids were curled together, as if afraid I'd vanish while they slept. Charles started to see it too. One morning, he made coffee for both of us. Bad coffee, but a big step. He asked, Aren't you exhausted? I told him the truth. I'd never felt more alive. Those kids didn't need a savior, just someone who'd stay, who wouldn't flinch when things got ugly. Charles admitted he didn't know how to be a dad anymore. I told him, no one can fill the hole left by loss, but you can learn to live beside it. Give me 24 hours, I said. Not to be perfect, but to show the kids someone won't give up. He agreed, but the world doesn't let things stay quiet. News about the runaway nannies and a black housekeeper with no papers hit the internet. Comments from people who'd never set foot in the house. Reporters camped outside, waiting for the next scandal. Some called the kids monsters, others blamed Charles, a few just wanted a new headline. Charles showed me the headlines and said, "If you need to leave, I'll understand." I told him, "Those kids don't need me to leave. They need me to stay and teach them that being misunderstood isn't a life sentence." The real turning point? When child services showed up, clipboard in hand. I asked her to stay the whole day, just live with us, not take notes. She saw a house that wasn't perfect, but was learning to heal. She saw Jude help a reporter make tea, Lily hand-stitch a welcome sign, Zion show his drawings. She saw what you only see when you stick around, the mess and the beauty tangled together. Outside, the media storm raged. Inside, the kids started to trust. They planned a press day, Tessa in her red dress, Lily reading a poem, Jude leading cameras through the garden, Zion showing off art. They were nervous, but for the first time, they wanted to be seen for who they were, not what people assumed. The reporters who stayed saw kids, real kids, not monsters. By the time the backyard emptied, I was spent, so were the kids. Charles thanked me, not for saving them, but for showing up, for refusing to give up. "You taught me," he said, "that love doesn't mean fixing everything. Sometimes it just means being there while someone cries." Yeah, that happened. Our story went viral, but not the way anyone expected. People saw us, a family built out of broken pieces, glued together with patience and midnight talks and burnt pancakes. Letters poured in from kids, single parents, strangers who saw themselves in our mess. I answered everyone I could, because for the first time, I didn't feel like a guest in my own life. I was home. Years passed. The house filled with laughter, new babies, music, art. Jude played guitar in church. Zion won art scholarships. Tessa wrote stories. Lily started a library club. Noah, once sullen, now wrote essays about family being where someone chooses to stay, not just where you're born. Even Charles learned to put down his phone and pick up a spatula on pizza night. And me? I never thought I'd be a mom. Never thought I'd marry. But there I was, wedding ring on my finger, 5 kids hugging me tight, Charles at my side, and not a soul doubting I belonged. Every year, we visit Valerie's grave. We bring flowers and cookies and thank her for giving us life, for making room for me to step in. We're not a perfect family. We're better. We're real. So here's my question. In a world obsessed with blood and titles, and who's worthy of what really makes a family? Is it a name on a paper? Or is it staying when you have every reason to leave? Share your thoughts below about love, justice, family, and all the messy ways we hold each other up. Because I'll tell you one thing for sure, the only stories worth telling are the ones we choose to live together.